How does your product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues? First, starting off, I know the traditional convention or conventions dealing with the magazines of Hawaii. I understand like the classic image of Hawaii itself is with its breathtaking landscapes and vibrant culture is usually like what draws many to the islands of Hawaii. Me, with my magazine, I decided to use the same conventions and embrace these conventions, but I decided to add a modern twist to cater to these tastes and preferences to attract to more an audience of my own, which was targeted to 25 to 40 year olds. Now, to cater to these 25 to 40-year olds, I know that the it is very important of visuals to this said group. My magazine is filled with Instagrammable moments, from stunning sunsets to hidden gems, ensuring that every page is a visual treat for the modern traveler. To even attract the adventure side of my audience, I mentioned the wonderful and cool things you can do on the island, such as the vast amount of waterfalls you could jump off on the journey of Road to Hana. Now, Hawaii is not just a destination, it's a lifestyle. My magazine integrates the Hawaiian way of life into the modern lifestyle of my audience, from wellness retreats to culinary experiences that redefine the meaning of paradise living. Now, to not forget about the food enthusiasts in my audience, I explored the diverse culinary scene of Hawaii. From traditional dishes to fusion delights, my magazine is a culinary adventure ensuring every palate finds satisfaction in the flavors of the islands. Now, regarding the social groups, my magazine represents like the locals of Hawaii in entirety. I share some of their history of them themselves and their food, and just what the island has to offer from where they grew up. How does my product engage with the audience, and how would it be distributed as a real media text? To begin with, the process of making my magazine, I had required a lot of input. I to gather this input, I had created Google Forms to that over 100 people had answered these Google Forms, where they put their input, their opinions, their ideas, and what they would want in the magazine. So why the Google Forms were so important for the engagement of my audience was because the respondees of the Google form were of my target audience, which were the 25 to 40-year-old adults. So through these responses, I was able to incorporate their ideas and opinions, and this way I'm able to engage this specific target audience and attract them to this magazine. To add some more engagement to my target audience, I would I would create a Instagram page. This Instagram page, I would show off the magazine stories, posts, and I would create interactive stories like polls or like hashtag challenges where they would share their own story or post and do the hashtag challenge of sharing a copy of their magazine with the internet. This way, it would be able to sponsor to their followers, and it would just expand the audience I'm trying to reach. Of course, now the most obvious way of trying to engage my audience into my magazine would be through physically. Um, but I had done some research, and the best places to do this would be a gas station, supermarket, and concession stands. Now, it's specifically these three areas because it is shown to see that it is shown that um, the people who usually shop in these areas are my target audience and age the 25 to 40-year-old adults. So I would be hitting my target audience and be promoting my magazine in these places, which would be wonderful. Now, since we live in a very technological area, I would have to focus more on the digital marketing. So I would share obviously some like digital copies of the magazine and like share them through a website or they could download it through a PDF. And lastly, I think this would be very huge is partnering with other magazines or companies. This way, expanding the marketing or sponsorship of the magazine so that we could reach a larger variety of this specific target audience. How did your production skills develop throughout this project? First, I would like to say I believe that I developed a lot of production skills over the time developing this project. I'm actually very proud of what I've accomplished and all the skills I've learned through this process of creating this magazine. So I actually have a list of all the production skills that I believe I've developed creating this magazine. So first, starting with content coordination and editorial skills. So with the content coordination, I researched and specifically selected and chose content that aligns with my magazine's theme and target audience. And then for the editorial skills, I developed an editorial strategy to maintain a straight and engaging narrative throughout my magazine. The next two skills I think I developed were, or the next skill I developed was a before I didn't really have like a keen sense for like art and like just imagery, but definitely after taking the pictures for the magazine, I developed a very good eye for like good photography, I think. So from taking the pictures, I think I developed an eye for like impactful photography that like really complements like my magazine's narrative. Um, Next was just like audience analysis or like the audience research, just making those Google forms and stuff like that. The just to understand my target audience's preferences, interests, and trends, and then just utilizing those my audience's analysis to just cater my content to their specific needs. And then lastly, which I think is probably the most important one, is production management. Just the planning and organizing the production process is like a big deal. Just setting the deadlines, the being on top of myself, and developing time management skills to ensure that the time of me like constructing this magazine comes out good, and I'm not rushed, and I'm on top of it, and it comes out well. So these are the skills I think I developed, and again, I'm very proud of the skills I developed from this process. How did you integrate technologies, software, hardware, and online in this project? So, to begin with this question, obviously I had to incorporate some sort of camera. I didn't have no like a professional camera, so to capture my photos, I just used an iPhone 14. Now with the iPhone 14, it has a 12 MP camera system. It worked pretty good for me, and I think I was able to capture quite well or like pretty beautiful pictures. Now, when it comes to like softwares I used the program Canva. I use this program very often to edit my pictures and add text and effect to the pictures. Here, I will show an example of me using the software to edit my cover photo. Now, another program I used mainly for just editing my pictures, I was able to edit a lot of my pictures on this app on my phone named Lightroom. Now, you may be surprised, but on this app, I was able to do basically everything. On this app, I was able to edit the exposure, shadows, and brightness on the photos I took with my phone. With using this editing software, I was able to make these pictures to use them up to their max potential, and they came out very nice using that editing software. Now, this is probably like one of the favorite technology like softwares, or you could say websites, that I incorporated into my magazine. uh, I think it added like a nice touch to the magazine. It was an online website named fontspace.com. Now, I discovered this website and I was just amazed at how many fonts they have. They have, I think, over like a million, or I don't know, a million, 100,000 fonts, and it's just all unique, different fonts. So, just with this website, I was able to add like a very like unique or a feature to the magazine that made it stand out, not like the other magazines. And obviously, the technology I used for the CCR was an iPhone to record the footage, a computer to record my audio, and edit on a software named Clipchamp, where I'm able to edit and add effects to the recording of the video. Thank you and have a good day.